Hey, good morning. I hope everybody's having a great day. We're going to have coffee this morning together. Hope you have your coffee. And we got an awesome session for you today, just to let you know. It's the 5 do-it-yourself health strategies to move your mental and physical health forward in the face of adversity. So that's what we're doing today. I hope everybody had a good 4th. We took a couple weeks off, counted the holiday, and giving people breaks. So what we're doing is it's called Golden Nuggets today. Now, what are Golden Nuggets? We're giving you those tips that I've learned in 33 years of practice. So it's a combination of research and 33 years experience, those kind of things that you'd like to ask sitting down with somebody. You know, what are the things that you've learned in the 33 years that you have been doing this. Oh, and by the way, for those who haven't met me, I'm Dr. Timothy Harcourt. So I'm a chiropractic physician, board certified in neuromusculoskeletal medicine, practice in Fort Myers on College Parkway. I practiced in Pennsylvania for 25 years and here for 8 years. So, hey, if you have comments, don't be afraid to put that in the comment section. We do these sessions by request. So if you have a topic you'd like us to cover, feel free to go ahead and put that in there, and we'll do that. As long as we're able to do it, we'll do it on a future session. So I always have to say the legal waiver. What we're going to go over today isn't intended to be a specific diagnosis or treatment for your specific condition. You'll have to see your healthcare provider for that. Hopefully you're close to me and you're able to see me if need be, and if not, you're able to there's some things in the video today that will help you, and not only help you but maybe help others. So if you know of somebody that's having neck or back trouble, considering getting surgery, maybe they have fibromyalgia, they have chronic pain, you know, they need a boost in their life, then go ahead and let them know about this session. We will do special Golden Nuggets probably on about a monthly basis. So typically we take a topic, but the Golden Nuggets is different because that is just kind of like, hey, we're having a chat. These are the things you want to consider doing to help drive your health forward. So it's not really about a specific condition. It's about how to drive your health forward regardless of symptoms. So that's what today's session is on. It's on Golden Nuggets. So let's talk about the big picture first. And by the way, we have 75 trillion cells in our body. Think about that for a second. It's hard to wrap your head around that. It is for me, right? 75 trillion cells. And they replicate at the rate of 25 million times a second. If you were to make a dot every second, it would take you millions of years for what your body does in 1 second. If each dot you used on a pen per second represented how many cells replicate perfectly in 1 second, it would take you millions of years to get that done. Think about that for a second. That's pretty crazy. Okay, so our body is working in what we call homeostasis. Hey, listen, try to get 10 people in a room and get them to agree on anything. If you've been to any board meetings lately, you'll know what I'm talking about. But we have 75 trillion cells in our body agreeing for survival and thrival and getting better. And, you know, now it all starts at the brain level, and we're going to talk about that next. But we got to talk about the big picture first. So in our brain, we have 100 billion neurons. What are neurons? They're just nerve cells. Pretty important, though, because they run everything else. So when I say that it all starts at the brain level, we are telling the truth about that. A lot of people don't realize that your brain generates electricity. That electricity translates down your spinal cord, out your nerves to run every single tissue in your body. Now, everybody knows about the muscles, but it was running everything else too. So if you were to make a model of the nerves in our body and you could take everything else away, you'd be the exact same shape, because the nerves literally go to every cell. The only exception is to that, the nerves can't run around in the bloodstream running after white blood cells and red blood cells. But interesting, the nervous system still runs those cells through chemical mediation. And unbelievable, right? So even though they can't be in direct contact, they're in neurochemical contact with the blood cells. Okay. So the first with the big picture is, listen, your body it has 75 trillion cells all trying to do the right thing. Simplify your life to enable your cells to do their job. Okay. We complicate that homeostasis when we make our life more complicated than it needs to be. Hey, for you and for other people, that's different things. I'm not going to lecture you on that. You know what it is. So I'm just going to say, simplify your life to make the 75 trillion cells work in a better homeostasis. That's the big picture for number one. What's number two? Number two is your health starts with your thoughts. So you remember we talked about the 50 billion neurons? That's a lot of nerves. So that's where health starts. Now we're starting to find that if we have a positive attitude and we're looking for the good things in life, our cells have a better chance of doing a good job. But if our brain is in the wrong place to begin with, it puts our cells in a place that's not so good. So our health starts with our thoughts. Crazy, isn't it? Not really, when you think about it. But it's important to make sure that what are we doing to move our brain forward to help our health? So one of the big things that we can do, especially in the face of adversity, is culture your creativity. So you find that thing in your life that allows you to drive your passion in a harmonic frequency. What I mean by that, if you've ever bowled, let's just say you bowled a 300 game. So that's all strikes in 10 frames. That's a lot of strikes in a row, right? And if you've ever been at 298, 290, 299, 300, doesn't matter. You're in a zone at that point. Now, what I mean by that, you're locked in. You can pretty much ignore everything else around you and hit your spot on the lane and maintain arm motion like a machine and put the pins down. Okay, that's called being in the zone. So when you can find that zone in your creativity, time becomes a secondary factor. Now, what's happening right now in the world is a lot of people feel as though they don't have a lot of control in their life, right? Because they listen to all the problems. Okay, and we do need to be aware of what's happening. Don't get me wrong there. But we have to have a plan for what we're going to do in our life too, right? So when people feel like that they're making decisions that change their life for the good, they feel better because they have more control. And one of the best ways to do that is to culture your creativity. You get in that zone. So what are some ideas? I like to do video. So for me, it's doing video. I could stay up all night long and doing videos like we're doing right now. Okay. And time is a non-factor for me. Unfortunately, I have to sleep and I have to eat, right? And if you have a hobby or something you like to do and you've been in that zone, you know what I'm talking about. Culturing your creativity. It could be making quilts. It could be making wood projects. It could be putting a deck on the back of the house. It could be anything. Maybe you're working on the computer. Maybe you're learning new computer programs. Maybe you're learning a new language, Spanish. I'm learning Spanish. You can teach an old dog new tricks. If I can learn Spanish, you can learn whatever language you want to learn, right? Maybe you're making music. You go on YouTube and you watch some guy teach you how to play the guitar. Whatever it is. I mean, your creativity is yours. That's the beauty of this. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with your creativity, your passion. And that's a really great way to put your brain in the proper place for your cells. Your cells will literally line up to your thoughts. Now, as a chiropractor, I know that probably sounds funny, line up, right? Because that's what I try to do is align things. But it's becoming more obvious that this is a deeper thing than what we thought as far as our thought processes and how important they are. So I'm encouraging you to have a positive approach to life, a solutions approach. Do not concentrate on all of the chaos around you. You cannot do anything about the chaos around you. You can do what's going on inside you, though. And the best way to do that is to have the positive thoughts and have a specific direction in life and concentrate on culture and your creativity. If you got nothing else out of this session today, it would have been well worthwhile to get what I just said. And I hope you do. I hope you understand that. Number 3, water intake. Okay. Why is water intake critical? Well, because your processes in your cells cannot work without water. Okay. A large percentage of our body is water. So, and your cells can't do their job without water. We talk about major organs. Your kidneys absolutely have to have water. Can't offload the toxins and acids out of your body. Did you know your kidney is the main organ to offload acid? So like if you're drinking pop, soda, stuff with acid in it, your kidneys are responsible for offloading that. Okay. So, anyways, stay away from drinking a lot of pop. Doesn't make any sense. There was one recent study that suggested that I think a couple Cokes a day is just as bad as smoking. So probably not a good idea to drink a lot of soda. Once in a while, you're probably okay with that, right? But do not get in the habit of drinking a lot of soda. What is the proper amount for water? Okay. So I always say shoot for the stars and hit the moon, because a lot of people don't walk on the moon, right? But if you were to think about it, half your body weight in ounces of water per day is a correct intake. I weigh about 200 pounds. Half of that's 100 ounces. So if I shoot for 9 bottles of water per day, I'm in pretty good shape. Now, I might not drink 9, but if I'm drinking 1, let's face it, that's not enough. And if you're drinking 1, unless you weigh 20 pounds, that's not enough for you. Okay. So let's just get this straight. You need to make sure that your kidneys and all your cells have plenty of water. Now, the age group that I talk to, DVT, deep vein thrombosis, is a condition you need to be concerned about, especially in this time because people are sitting around more than usual. Okay. So how do you get a blood clot? Well, your enemy is dehydration. So your friend is water. Okay. Now your friend is water in a lot of different ways, but especially for DVT. So, and believe me, you do not want a DVT. You don't want a deep vein thrombosis or blood clot in your leg that extends up into your groin, maybe into your lungs. It is a life-threatening condition. So for that reason and that reason, that's enough. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Now, we live in Florida here. Now, I might be talking to somebody in Alaska or wherever. It doesn't matter. You need to make sure you're well hydrated. By the way, if you're on a boat all day long, you got to double that, because you get direct sunlight exposure from the sun on the boat, plus it bounces off the water and hits you. So you will dehydrate faster. Okay. Number 4, proper hot and cold pack application. Now, a lot of people do move to Florida because they like the heat. That could be because their joints are arthritic and their joints feel better when they're warmed up. We understand that. However, when you're inflamed in your body and you put a lot of heat on it, you're going to make it inflame more. So even though heat might feel good temporarily, it might not be the best thing for you. So just to give you an idea, out of 10 patients that walk in this office for most conditions, we're recommending 9 of those patients use ice application and 1 use heat. Okay, so people tend to overdo the heat. So let me give an example of what we see. So a lot of people have the spas available. They have on their back porch or in the condo association or whatever. and they get a sore back. So they grab a beer, maybe a glass of wine, whatever, and they go get in the hot tub. Now, of course, the little sticker says that you shouldn't exceed about 5 to 8 minutes, but they're in for 25 minutes. And then, of course, every drink thereafter, they're forgetting about the previous 25. And they wonder why the next morning they can't move. It's because they just swelled their back or neck up significantly and overdid the heat. Big mistake. And that's what they end up in our practice then, needing help. We got to reverse that inflammatory process. So do yourself a favor and don't overuse the heat. If you need specific instructions, we have those available at the office. We'd be happy to send those to you. Just email us and we'll get some out to you. Number 5, your body is a machine, a wonderful machine. Now, when was the last time you looked at the back of a watch, you opened up the cover and saw the gears running? Well, with the new watches, they don't have gears. But for many, many years, all that did run a watch was lots of gears. Well, we have 75 trillion of them, if you could imagine that. They're all spinning, moving, and vibrating. The cell is like big when you think of electron microscope. I mean, if you take an electron microscope in one cell, it looks like you're looking at the universe, right? But we have 75 trillion of those in our body. It's like looking in the Milky Way. That's what it's like, when you look at the body and everything going on. It's a wonderful machine. Now, what do? Some of you have a farming background. If you sit a combine out in the field and you don't cover it, how's it going to do when you go to harvest your crop? Bearing's going to be a little tight, maybe not even move, not even spin. Going to blow some belts. Going to strip some drive shafts, probably. So, our machine needs to have lubrication. It needs to have hydration. You need to stretch it. You need to feed it. Feed it with positive thoughts and good nutrition. Do not minimize the positive thoughts part. Move it. You want to move it because that combine sitting out in the field, it's sitting there, it's not moving, it's rusting up. Well, we get rusty hinges too. We don't get rust in the body, but scar tissue and adhesion can form around the capsule of the joint, keep it from moving properly. Then all of a sudden the acid content increases in the joint. We have degenerative joint disease. So it's really important to keep the rust out of our joints. You got to keep moving. Now, sometimes what happens, the joints lock up and we're not able to move that. That's where a good adjustment comes in. But above and beyond that, a monthly adjustment helps to keep your immune system at a high level. So we find patients that come in a couple times a month, they get sick less often. They have more creative ideas. Adjustments to the neck have been proven to improve your creativity, by the way. Also proven to help you get into REM sleep by stimulation of the alpha waves of the brain. So you get better sleep. And by the way, a few sessions ago, we talked about the importance of sleep. So we're talking about the big picture here, all your cells working together. Feed the brain, have good thoughts, and then make sure that you're using you're taking your water and drinking plenty of water. You're using hot and cold applications the proper way. And the last thing is you have a wonderful machine. Keep it moving, feed it, lubricate it, keep it hydrated, stretch it. One thing I forgot to mention, if you are subclinical dehydration, not only at risk for DVT, but you're losing your flexibility every day. What's one of the most common reasons to be dehydrated? Alcohol consumption. So make sure if you have to have your drinks that you're following it with water and you're drinking water before you go to bed. B vitamin probably wouldn't hurt as well. So, but the thing is, it's better to stay hydrated and stay away from a lot of alcohol. Obviously, we want to do that. So these are just some golden nuggets that we found can be extremely beneficial to you. If you like these sessions, please Subscribe to our channel. You can hit the bell so that you're notified when we do another one. And if you know of somebody that should see this, send them to the rebroadcast. It'll be on there. They can go on at their leisure at any time. All they have to do is to be a friend on Coast Chiropractic Center's Facebook, or to be a subscriber on our YouTube channel. And that's the same thing, Coast Chiropractic Centers. We hope you have a wonderful day. Remember, stay healthy, stay strong, and stay creative. It's Dr. Harcourt signing off. We'll see you next time.